2Dxtreme outside the studio with the scientist DLee, shoots a big. 2Dxtreme, baby. Y'all know us. Y'all know how we do it. Real conversation. Tomorrow we'll have sports talk. Shout out to Los the 86er, one of my teachers. And also right now, we want to say happy birthday to the mad scientist himself, DLee. Happy birthday, baby.
Appreciate it.
Oh man.
41 God bless years.
Big made the 4-1 today. That's what's up.
It's good to be a black man. It's 41 years old.
41 years, man. It's a blessing, especially these days. Things we've seen thus far. That's why we do what we do, to present knowledge and information so other ones don't have to get their hand burned on the stove or make the same mistakes and step to those same curves and all of that we went through. That's what this 2Dxtreme is being brought to you for. With all these different open formats. This is why. Because it's about you. And all we ask that you do is give it an open mind of thought. Share the video, subscribe, like it. If you don't like it, just move on to the next and find what you do like and what can make you grow. You know, but man, I want to get into this conversation now since it's his birthday, and we was having a conversation yesterday. We'll talk about time span. So we will go back to the 80s when crack first came out, hit the streets. This was back when 83, 82, you know, around this time here. And then, you know, that's when you had the people that you saw, the guys that were cool, that maintained the job, that were big, or women that were real sexy and, you know, also held the job and did real well. And you have to understand, previous to crack, there were the drugs out. So you have to understand what happens and where we're going. So we're gonna take this one step at a time, but I'm bringing you somewhere. We finna bring you somewhere, okay?
That crack, you know what I'm saying? It is cocaine that has been cooked into a rock form. First of all, why would a normal human being want to smoke a rock? Just the essence of just a rock. The definition of rock. A rock. Something in the nigga driveway, on the street, a rock. On the beach, a rock. That don't make sense. So before that, man, they had cocaine, they had heroin, they had PCP, they had LSD, all different types.
I had all these different type of drugs. And notice we went one thing. What he just said
that you don't know about, but it's an opiate. And that's where that shit come
from opiates, right? And that's what we say. We're fit to take you somewhere. So you know, when you get to the 70s and the 60s, you had people using drugs, but they were still able to maintain a job and maintain a home and still get up and go to work. So this shows you the scientific different structure in the drug. The drug is getting stronger as time goes on, which takes more away from the human body and brain. Even the way we eat, drink, everything. But what we're talking about right now is when we were coming up as youth, when the first crackheads were on the scene and you saw the guy that used to be, you know, 240 and 280 muscle. And then a year later, man, you see him 100 pounds and he ready to break in somebody's house and twitching around and looking all crazy, all bugged out. And, you know, that's when you had all these murders going on. That's when, you know, you really started seeing the gunplay. That's when it was really just, you know, pop everywhere. People talk about the pop now. Man, go look up them 80s and them 90s. Go look up them 80s and them 90s. Read them stats on them 80s and them 90s and you tell me what you see and what you find, and you will be in a roar of what you find, because you will see that the homicide rates were greater then they are now, but the media plays it in a certain way. So what I'm saying is that through At this time, what you have after the 80s, what they had, crack babies. See, I told you we was taking you somewhere. After the 80s, you had the crack babies. Then what happened was, after this crack epidemic was slowly, as you would say, decreasing, because the government was able to do that with the media. In the early 90s, if you notice, it wasn't cool, it was never cool to smoke crack, but it became even more, crack is whack. People saying it in their songs, and, it was always talked down on. But it was a flip side what was going on at this time, too, in the early 90s. They were embracing the other hallucinogenic drugs. You had rappers that were saying it's cool to smoke sherm, it's cool to smoke water, it's cool to pop pills. So now you trade one for another and you making it seem like it's cool. And I don't have to say none of these rappers' name. I don't have to say none of this, because you know why? I was one of the rappers who did it. Okay? I was one of the rappers who did it. So I don't have to call out another rapper and say, well, he was talking about smoking sherm and dipping the cigarette and sipping on syrup and popping the pill. Nah, I did it myself. And told other people it was cool, because that's what I thought. So yeah, that's the other side that was going on. So what I'm saying is that now, in the early 90s, now it's not cool to smoke crack, but it's cool to smoke sherm. Now it's cool to smoke weed all day, every day. But your whole life is just high all the time. Now it's okay to pop pills. Now it's okay to sip syrup. Which I'm not knocking nobody for nothing that they do, but I'm just saying how something can be manipulated and glorified that can still hurt you. While you saying something over here is bad, and then you like, oh man, the crack is bad, but man, it's cool to smoke a dip. And I remember on being on the dope cuts with my homeboys, and crackheads would come up to the cut and looking at my homeboys and everybody else out there, me, everybody else, smoking dip, doing what we do, and the crackheads will say, man, I don't want none of that. That's what the crackheads like, man, I don't want none of that. Hell nah. Gotta run down the street butt naked. What the hell they? Thank God I ain't never had no episode like this. I've seen them, and that's not nothing that's cool. But at the same time, let me take you where we still going somewhere here. You have to understand that after all this fry and all this syrup and all this Xanax and Vicodins, you still have another breed of kids that's being born. So now you got the crack babies being aligned with the pill and the sherm babies, and now you have all of these kids today that's mentally ill because a lot of their parents were on drugs. And they don't want to admit that and say what they was doing in the past, and to come to the full front, this is what's wrong with my child. This is what's wrong with a lot of these kids. It's because of the things I put in my body. You see?
Poison your seed, man.
And that's what made Brother Shoe change a lot of his own personal ways and things that I did in my personal life, and got away, from had to get away from their lifestyle. But the first thing you got to do is change your surroundings. And got into real research and studying and learning about the African spirituality system and learning who we are. But that still makes me the person who I am today. I wouldn't be real if I couldn't speak on it. And this is what makes the ghetto. This is what makes the ghetto. It's this generational structure. And the generational structure now is to where you have a mother who grew up in a single parent home. Her mother grew up in a single parent home. Then you have a father who grew up in a single parent home. His father grew up in a single parent home. So now it's just not one person or two people that were coming from a single parent home. You have generations of kids that come from single parent home. So the whole structure has been taken off balance. And then you add the influence of drugs into this, It's where you get the ghetto. And people always say the ghetto is a mind frame. And that is strictly the truth. Because when you are addicted to hooked on anything, it's in your mind.
Nothing can be that good. Nothing. You gotta think about it, man. Everything has to have a balance. What you eat, what you breathe, what you do, it has to have a balance. Because you got negative energy going against positive energy. Like atoms is just spinning, and it gotta stay at a certain rate to keep that shit together. So you as a person built out of all of these atoms with all this energy going back and forth in you. That's why your body gets stressed and your body get wore down. That's when you start having heart attacks, you start having backaches out of nowhere. You know, your body just starts to fail on you in certain ways because you stressing your own self out, thinking about something, and God told you don't worry. Because if you worry, you're gonna stress. Now, if you trust in God, like a lot of people say that they do, I trust it because I don't have no other man-made explanation that can explain the trust that I have for God. Because He delivers. As long as I am pacific and true what's in my heart, because you get what you ask for. You gotta remember that, man. I learned that at 18, man. I used to have a hot ass head. I'm influenced by all this music that's going on. But I was blessed to have grandparents in the beginning I didn't understand, and once I got older, but luckily I was still in school, I started to understand. They would show me eyes of the prize. They would show me what was happening in the 60s and the 70s. And then what was blessed by my standards, that it was actually on television. They had Channel 8. That Channel 8 was just nothing but an educational channel. A literal, like if you didn't go to school that day and you were sick, if your parent wanted you to still learn something and you couldn't go to school, they put it on that channel.
That's how we knew who Bill Cosby was, because of Reading Rainbow.
Yes.
Then we had
Fat Albert.
And Bill Cosby had the show where he would be the doctor and he would, do all different things. But yeah, go ahead, D, baby. Go ahead, what you saying?
So, me watching that and my grandparents instilling into me, my grandmother would make me read dictionaries, encyclopedias. She would make me copy out dictionaries just to keep my education, my brain constantly working, because she understood that my growing is not complete mentally or physically. I'm still a child, so at that time my brain is still going to get bigger until it gets to its maximum size. So while doing that, exercise it to its most efficiency as possible in this kid. And the best way to do that is to make him learn how to read. That way he can read with his eyes, in words, in action, in pictures. Because his mind is so used to reading. It knows knowledge. The knowledge in the words, which give you nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, synonyms, antonyms. These words that they teach you in school, yes, they do make a difference, because they make sure that you understand what is this and what is that. That's just like you got two cars over there, but this one got this name and this one got that name. Now they are synonyms. That's what they have in common. They are cars. They can all do the same thing, except they just have a different name. Or they have the same name, but look different.
For real.
That's a synonym. I just got dropped on too.
Yeah.
Look that shit up.
For real.
Because it's in everything, man. It's just not in words and all of that. But
it is. And this is why I want people to know that.
But,
and this this is coming real with people, because people want to get into the definition of words and etymology. And I have friends that deal with it. Let me let you know something. This is law, the land where you live in. If it doesn't go by Webster's dictionary, it's not going to work. All right, I'm not. There's no downplaying nobody and nothing like that.
Give you a chance.
It's not going to work.
And give you a chance. And we got libraries that got your language from wherever you from on this planet.
And this is, if anybody want to know
with that,
holler at them brothers in Team Osiris Country. You want to know anything about that law and the words and things like this here, you'll get the real information, because there's a lot of more science, different science going around that's just kind of ill. So I'm going to only refer people to Team Osiris. Okay, that's it. But anyway, we want to say peace till next time. It's 2Dxtreme. Happy birthday again to DLee the scientist. And we out of here, and we hope y'all enjoyed the information.